Okay, hello and welcome to this chat. My name is Lana Weal. I'm Atto's program manager, and I'm here speaking with an amazing female founder from the Atto community, Karen Kim. And Karen Kim is a musician and a leader of a music business, Hello Music, and she has an amazing new initiative, Hello Music World, coming out very soon. But to kick us off, Karen, can you let us know about yourself and your business, and then we'll kick into some questions all about Atto, your experience with startups, and what you've got planned.
Wow, jam-packed hour with Lana's show on Atto. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Karen and I am an Atto member. I have been running my business, Hello Music Studios, for over 30 years, and it's a music education and events company. We have services as in teaching classes and orchestra programs, concerts, internship placement programs all over Melbourne. And we also have some international partners, which we do some fun things online with, like fundraising charity buskathons and music competitions and so forth. So now I have been looking at building a global platform. Actually, I've been thinking about it all throughout COVID, and we've been testing out a few things. And so, yes, this is the new venture, Hello Music World, bringing music education and the benefits of music, empowering musicians to create their own businesses on our platform, and also for business events, music events online to have social impact. I'll explain that a little bit later, but yeah, so that's what's happening. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, the launch of Hello Music World.
Next couple of weeks. Oh, that's very, very, very exciting. And before we get into Hello Music World, I was wondering if you could just share your experience with music. When did your passion for music start, and what instruments do you play? Because I know you play a couple. And then what did you teach when you were a teacher as well?
Okay, so I'm a pianist and violinist, and I'm still teaching. I love teaching. I think it keeps you really grounded, and children are really the best educators, actually. They keep you really just in a happy space because of their innocence and their eye for detail and the way they can see things at the back of their head, like what they'll be playing something and then say, "Oh, is that a box of chocolates in the corner over there?" behind?" Just little things that just, yeah, are really refreshing. Um, so I've been playing probably since I was maybe 4 or 5. My mum says that before I could even reach the piano, I was playing on tippy toes, and I worked out Mary Had a Little Lamb when I was 2, and the whole village in Korea thought I was a genius, but sadly disappointed. I wasn't to become a concert pianist, but I do love music, and it really does give you a lot of joy in teaching and also in playing. Um, yeah, so I'm very fortunate, I guess, to have this job or
Mm.
community service or this role.
Yes, like you might not be a concert pianist, but you have influenced so many hundreds of people. I presume probably thousands over the years now to,
Maybe
fulfill
thousands,
their
and
love of
at
music,
my
both.
age, I'm probably.
Yeah, maybe thousands, right? And not only the students who you're teaching, but the teachers that you support as well. So maybe you could just touch on that in your Hello Music business at the moment. So you are a teacher yourself, but not only do you teach kids, but you empower teachers to be better teachers and build their practice as well. Is that right?
Yes, I guess as the director, I do have a responsibility to mentor and help the younger teachers build up their skills. And we're always talking about different teaching styles or communication skills with parents and students. And I remember when I was first teaching, I had a lot of insecurities, and you're always wondering if you're good enough, or if you're connecting with the students, or if the parents think you're good enough. So yeah, I think they do need a lot of support, and that's what I'd really like to do also in my new platform, empower them with marketing tools and business skills. A lot of musicians come out of university and have no idea how to run their own practice, and yet probably 99% of musicians are contractors. So really, they should know those business skills, how to promote their brand, how to sort their taxation and their business receipts, and how to put aside their superannuation and look after themselves for the future, and what rates they're going to charge. They have to know their value. So I think it would be good to have more mentors around for artists. A lot of artists come out with wonderful artistic skills, but no business life skills.
Oh, that's so interesting. I love that you are a mentor for them as well. Very clearly, you have a passion for what you do, and no doubt you are passing on those skills to them as well. I find it really interesting that you both teach and that you support the teachers in this way as well. And I think that's a really empowering and beautiful thing, because it's a mix of this joy of music, but also you have to have kind of this business mindset as well when you are a teacher in these early stages too. So
Mm.
maybe let's talk a little bit about COVID and all of the things that happened at that point, because artists in general, and as well as musicians for sure, have had a really tough time since COVID hit.
Mm.
And how did that impact Hello Music? And what did you have to change once COVID hit? And when did you realize it's time to make this global platform?
Yeah, well, firstly, I think musicians, I don't want to generalize and say that they are sensitive souls, but I guess they are sensitive. And that's what can make artists good artists, because they are more attuned to emotion and environmental and social effects. But yeah, there was a huge, I don't have the statistics with me, but there is a huge incidence of mental decline, and they do need a lot of support. Well, anyone would if they were out of work, or if they were preparing for a concert and just about to hit the stage and then everything's cancelled. I mean, it's devastating. So a lot of musicians were obviously out of work, and a lot of our teachers had to quickly pivot to online, or just try to do other things like maybe write music, or just have a rest, or practice more, or um, yeah, just have some downtime. But in the meantime, the music school itself, we tried to educate. Remember, in it, like 2 years ago, no one really knew how to use Zoom, and I had to do a crash course on Zoom myself. Um, and we had to educate all the parents to move their cameras in a certain way for piano classes, so that we could see their fingers and their faces, or violin so that we could see their bow, whether it was straight or not. So there was a certain way. We can't just teach if their back is to us, for example. And also Zoom has this technical glitch for musicians, in that it is so good for speech, and it cuts out all the background noise. But a lot of the violin sounds, for example, are very high pitched, and Zoom recognizes it as background noise or interference and cuts it out. So they'd get to the higher octaves of their scales, and it would just cut the whole thing out, and we couldn't hear a thing. So I think in the second year of COVID, they came out with a little button that was like original sound, so you could put it on the original sound, warts and all, and that improved things. So there was a yeah, big learning curve for all of us, and lots of pictures and diagrams. Put your violin this way, put your camera this way, this height. Yeah, so it was pretty crazy, but it was a great learning experience. And as you know, in the general business community, everyone probably is so used to having online meetings now that it's sometimes the preferred way, because we're saving on petrol and time, and avoiding traffic. So yeah, there's always pros and cons for every disaster, I guess.
Mm. Yes, and there was a lot of challenges there. I am so impressed as well that you not only support the teachers, but you support the students as well, and then you support their families. You know, like it's not just you're delivering a class to a student, right? There's so much that goes into it, and it's a whole community that is involved in supporting just one person to pursue
I,
their passion for music. It's so amazing,
I do want to
and
say just quickly that the parents, I just want to give a shout out to all the poor parents that had to homeschool and try and organize all the Zoom and everything while they were at home working. And there was so many times that we would just have to micromanage every single class. And are you coming online? Oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh, I was just trying to juggle a meeting there. So you could really sense the crazy juggling that was going on and the stress that was going on
mm,
in the homes during that time. So everyone really, yeah, overcame this challenge, or yeah, just everyone had a hard time. So
mm,
hats off to everyone. We got through it.
yes, parents, oh my goodness, definitely hats off to them and to the teachers dedicating themselves to supporting these students and for the students doing the work during
Yeah,
these
poor
challenging
kids.
times as well. They're amazing. They're all really, really, really amazing. So COVID hit kind of Australia and we went into lockdown in Melbourne back in March 2020. So we're 2 years on from that now. What happened to kickstart the idea of creating this global platform, Hello Music World? And what were some of the first steps you took to get started on it?
Mm. So when we were having all of these online um, lessons, like we were trying to do everything just as though we were doing it face to face. So orchestra was a crazy comedy trial. I know a lot of people do it now, and we worked out that you can sort of mute everyone while you have the backing track or the leader is playing. So um, it looks like everyone's playing in time, and it's just super fantastic. Or you can use breakout rooms and go into little practice sessions in parts. And there's so many things you can do with technology if you think creatively. So yeah, we had some fun orchestra sessions and choir sessions, and then we cut virtual orchestra performances together and sync them later, and showcase them. I know a lot of people have been doing that now, and it's all very passé. But when we first did it, it was like a big like woohoo! This is so cool. And with all of that experimentation, we found ourselves doing concerts online as well. We had pajama party concerts, and then we had concerts with people overseas, and then we had a charity buskathon with Ghana, and we raised funds for them. That was actually amazing because the children in Ghana came out at 5 o'clock in the morning, even though they were in lockdown, but the whole village came out and they sang and danced and showed us their mud brick school, and we had a virtual tour, and it was just crazy because the termites had been eating into their burrowing into their walls in the schools, and when the floods come, the roof just caves in. And so it was a really interesting cultural exchange, and I was so inspired by that, and the children were just inspired as well that their music could actually help give them a better school, because the whole fundraising concept was to build a school with concrete. So we bought 70 bags of cement and they've started excavating. Oh, it's just amazing. But those sort of experimental events gave me an idea that we should be doing this more, like cultural exchange, our eyes opening to what's going on, especially the younger generation. I mean, we don't often have the chance to go to Africa, and um, so to see it online, it's amazing, and to connect with the people, to share music, to get to know each other more through our cultural exchange, and also it opens up um, more teaching opportunities for people in underprivileged countries to gain an income. Um, we can have concerts for more social impact and raise awareness of more causes. I mean, this was the impetus to Hello Music World.
It's so amazing and inspiring as well. It's so humbling to see the work that you're doing. Not only are you educating teachers to have better practices at work, you're educating students to fulfill their love of music, but also you're trying to educate everybody about the whole world and what's going on outside of Australia as well. It's a really, really beautiful thing that you're
Hashtag world peace. Yeah.
That's the goal with music, spread more joy for sure. So
Yeah.
that was, yeah, around 2 years ago, I think, right? So you're doing those events in 2020. And then what did you know about startups at the time and how did you find Atto?
Yeah, so I was just, browsing on the internet, getting into all those rabbit holes, and then I thought, oh, wow, this is an interesting concept of technology and women and startups, and it was a fairly new um, organization, I think, at the time. And I heard that you were interviewing people to see if we wanted to be part of the beta project, and um, so I put my hand up, and I was nicely surprised, and I'm still here with you guys, and it's a weekly sort of get together. Which I really look forward to. Even when I'm really busy, I just clear the desk and say, "Oh, Atto Mastermind time," and just catch up with what everyone else is doing, and keeping myself in that space of going forward and pursuing it, even when other things come in to distract or try to detour me.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Keeping you distraction free. So, yes, Atto was founded in 2019. And what Karen's referring to is our Academy offer, which is a monthly membership where we have weekly masterminds that Karen is obviously super happy with because she does come and she does share what she's up to, or she does share some downsides of things that are going wrong so we can help perk her up and keep her focused on what's important as well. And I'm so glad that you do mention those as well. So, they are a weekly check-in. They're an hour, and we ask everybody to share what are you working on, what's a recent win that you've had as well, so we can celebrate with you and showcase your progress each week as well. And then there's an opportunity for you to brainstorm with the group or to keep accountable for next week. So you do turn out pretty much every week, Karen. How has that been for you, that weekly check-in and those masterminds? I'm so glad you do clear the deck and feel that way about them. But what has that done for your work mindset and your mentality week on week?
Oh, yeah, no, I really love it actually. Maybe it's a bit of procrastination too for things that I have to do, but it's really good downtime to catch up with the others and see where they're at, and sometimes when I'm really busy, I know I come in and say, "Oh, I'm just going to be a fly on the wall and listen in," but it's hard not to sort of chime in and get excited when others have their wins, and yeah, it's really good to keep one accountable.
Mm, mm. And what were you hoping to get out of the program? Because as you said, you joined during the beta phase, which was March 2021. So we've been running the program for over a year now. What were you expecting to get out of the program?
I guess it was really, as they say, you should really surround yourself with the people that you aspire to, and will keep you accountable, and people of the same sort of mindset. So there's no point, for example, if I was going to catch up with my parents all the time, they'd be saying, "What are you doing now?" "Oh, what now? What now?" Whereas if you go to a group of people who always have new ideas and want to bounce them around with you, then it just makes more sense to talk to people who understand you and are of like mind, and are not afraid of venturing out of their comfort zone.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's really, really good. And was there anything that surprised you about Addo or has been really challenging for you to get your head around? Because I know we are in a bit of a niche in the startup world. We encourage founders to use no code tools to test their ideas first before engaging with developers or designers and paying lots of money. So we encourage people to use like free or very cheap tools to test your ideas first. We do encourage people to stay independent as long as possible. So avoid getting venture capital funding or any other external funding so you don't have pressure from investors and you can make those decisions independently. But what was your mentality around startups beforehand? And then how did you feel going through Addo and learning about all of these startup mindset things?
Yeah, I guess as you know, it's not my first rodeo, um, but I think I'm coming in a little bit wiser, and I am bootstrapping a lot longer. Whereas before, I would have gone out straight away and said, "Oh, I've got this great concept," and probably brought in a lot of people who would have moved me this way and that way, and maybe even potentially turned it into something else. But I'm not in a great rush, but um, I see that it can develop without too much investment at this point, and still, I believe it can scale to a sizable community without too much investment. And my idea is to try and get the attention of people who then would like to invest either as partners even, or I'm even thinking of a type of co-op type model. So this is something in the future that could be the direction that I'm heading. So yeah, what was the other part of your question? Sorry.
No, that's all good. That's heaps. That's amazing. I was wondering if you'd have some coaching sessions with Kate, and how were they for you? Because I've heard some really amazing feedback from people that she has completely changed their minds about what they should be building or how they should be going about their business. And I was wondering if you had any experience with that.
Kate is wonderful. I have had one session with Kate, and I'm due to have another one. Um, Kate's got a keen eye for what the potential of a company can be, and gives you the options of where it could go. And she has given me a lot of good ideas, and I think I have actually maneuvered in a slightly different way. And also, I have seen Kate actually in the seat hot seat Mondays. So yeah, it's always good just to get the little bits of advice. Sometimes those little nuggets that you just put in, like, plant, and then and sort of see where it can work, and having the consistent um, advice, I think, is really crucial. So again, for me, it's just by surrounding myself and immersing myself in that Atto community has um, has been really good, rather
Mm.
than just calling up a consultant and talking out of the blue. You know, it's good that everyone in the community knows each other, and knows of the project, and also if there's any new news or funding, or just news in that whole innovative space, you're always the first one to tell me.
Uh, yes, we definitely try and keep our founders up to date with what's happening in the industry, because there are so many opportunities for funding or media or marketing for people, for female founders right now. So we do want
Yes.
to share those with our community for sure. In one of our blogs, we asked you what you wish you knew, or if what would you do differently if you could go back, and you touched on paying more attention to financial reports and projections. And I just wanted to touch on that because you said about having a completely different funding model potentially in the future, depending on what investors are interested in, things like that. And I was wondering, how did you upskill in that area, and do you still have that advice of like, if you could go back, you would focus more on that?
Hmm. Well, I think I know a lot more about business now than I did maybe even 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And I used to put the creative before the financials, but now for me it isn't a viable creative project without considering the financials. It has to go in parallel. Otherwise, it's 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 just fairy floss, and you can have all these great ideas. And I was talking to a film producer once who said, "Oh, I just wish I could make a film without any budget constrictions." And I thought, oh, it's dangerous to not have any budget parameters, because um, the financials give you guidance, and it keeps you grounded, and it gives you longevity of your project. Because
Mm,
if you don't consider that, I mean, it just isn't sensible. So
mm,
um, it, rather than always thinking, oh, we'll probably get a grant for that, or we could probably get funding or sponsors, or it's easy to say that, but if it's not a viable project in itself and doesn't have any way of creating revenue, then yeah, I guess I'm just talking to myself because I used to have all these amazing ideas, creative ideas, and they were always, actually, I must admit, good for a social cause or the community. Um, but often it would just rip a hole in my pocket.
yes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
and sure, it raised awareness and benefits for whoever was on the other side, but I was the one that was burnt out and yes, with a big hole in my pocket. So
Yes, I love that you're trying to bridge the gap on these things as well. You're creating a global platform. You want to support all of these people, but also earn some money so you can give back to all of these people as well. I know that's deeply, deeply, deeply ingrained in your mission as well. And it's so impressive what you've been able to do so far as well. So, what stage is the Hello Music World platform at now, and what will it be able to do when you do launch?
hmm. Well, I think we're ready for a beta phase. We're just going to add a few more maybe a couple more sentences here and there, but I think the platform's almost ready to go. So I'll be sending you an invite to log in and come on board as a learner. And all the beta testers in the next 2 or 3 months will gain some discount vouchers for workshops and concerts and classes. So if you want to learn flamenco guitar from someone in Spain, or drums from Ghana, or who knows, opera singing from Vienna. We could arrange that for you. So we'll be launching the platform, and hopefully it'll be as popular as Tinder, and you'll have some wonderful cultural exchange matches with teachers, and go along to some wonderful events. I know already we have a couple of great events coming up to raise awareness of modern slavery in this world at the moment. Over 40 million people are in modern slavery. So a friend of mine's doing a project to be launched in May 25th, called Dreaming Freedom. So that will be also launched on our platform. And another Ugandan concert to help children in rural underprivileged villages go to school. So with $20, you can send one child to school for a whole term.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And these are just some of the little things that you're doing in addition to creating this whole platform. I was just wondering if you could touch on who is the platform for? So it's a two-sided marketplace
Mm.
where you're matching teachers with students. And what kind of teachers and students are you looking for?
So, students of all ages, because we also prepare for music examinations, and we'll have a connecting platform to sign up for exams as well, with the reputable music examination board here in Australia, and possibly some others around the world. And teachers, we would like to invite teachers from all around the world to try out the platform, and the very low percentage that we take for the platform will obviously be to continue to maintain it, and also a percentage of 1% goes to provide education. And with workshops, I mean, even the percentage goes up. We're not sure whether it's 1 or 2%, but yeah, we're working it out. So it's an automatic debit that goes directly to the fund. So yeah, I would like to invite everyone, and also B2Bs, any organizations that want to promote their traditional music, cultural music, so that we can learn more about your culture, and also help uh, fundraise, because I know a lot of institutes are in need of fundraising to help support their cultural music institutes like in Cambodia, Ghana, in Nigeria. Um, so, yeah, I'd like to invite everyone who's interested in music and interested in how music can make an impact in the world to jump on board to Hello Music World.
That's so exciting. And maybe could you just touch on what the teachers have to have or do for the platform as well? So I think it's like they fill out a form and then they say when they're available and then you get matched with students.
Yes, that's right. So you just make a video to introduce yourselves and fill out a form. And there'd be two tiers. One is like a tutor level, and one's a professional teacher level. And people who are more experienced, they can present workshops as well, group workshops or master classes. And so they charge per attendee. And so it's a good way to promote your skills and earn some income and build your own branding on our global community platform. And also great to meet a lot of different people from around the world. We also will have concerts throughout the year, and we invite amateurs to even jump online and play for the whole world to see.
Oh my
A
gosh,
very
that's exciting.
supportive environment. So we don't mind if
Mm.
we're playing, a simple version of Feralise or if you're playing Rachmaninoff or
I love that so much. Like I think it's the mentality of the music world can be quite stressful a lot of the time, but you do bring it back to joy and learning and all those good things as well, which I really, really like. I just wanted to touch on before we spoke a little bit about mindset and the things you have to change and the little kind of nuggets that you hear that slowly adjust your mindset about what you can. Because I think half the battle in the startup world is getting over your mindset, getting over the things that are holding you back, and just taking action and putting your offers out there and then seeing what people say and then, testing, learning, and iterating as you go. And I was just wondering if you could touch on any of those nuggets that have been shared through Atto that have changed the way you've approached creating this Hello Music World platform.
Hmm. Okay, so I mean, there's so many of them. Gosh, it doesn't have to be 100% ready. So that is an idea or a concept that has allowed me to think about the beta launch phase, and also the fact that it's not going to be like, oh, I'm launching, and then suddenly 100 million people will jump onto your platform. It's not like that at all. Um, so talking about that, one of our masterminds gave me the idea of the beta phase, and that we would make it a 3 month organic sort of phase where we would invite feedback and tell everyone that, well, it's a beta phase. So actually, you're part of the community that can actually support and improve this if you really believe in our concept. So people love to help and love to sort of give feedback if you ask them. But if we came from a different angle and sort of said, "Da-da, this is our beautiful shiny platform," and then it didn't work, I mean, we might just lose people and we'd never hear about it. But inviting them to be a part of this experimental phase and asking them what they want, and I think really lends itself to the brand that it is a real community platform, and we want to build it for them. So whether it's for teachers or for learners or parents or institutes, I mean, they will have the ideas, which I think is really gold as well, because they're the users after all. And we may think that we have all the answers, but we'll get more answers from the users.
I love that a lot. Yes, we definitely advocate testing and learning with as little as possible, almost, especially when you've first got the idea. What's something that you could test with a survey or, 5 questions that you could ask potential customers to get that feedback and then, aim to serve them and create those features long term. But to get started, you don't need to be 100%. So I'm so glad that one has stuck. And I love that you're approaching it in this way as well with the 3 months inviting into the community and help us shape this product as well. I think that's a really, really wonderful way to do it. And I have no doubt that it's going to be really great for your community too. I was wondering if you could go back in time before joining the Atto Academy last year. What advice would you have for yourself, or what advice do you have for new founders considering joining Atto?
Mm. definitely find your community or your tribe. I didn't want to say that word because it's so overused, but find your tribe. Find the people that you feel you're going to learn from and that you can contribute to, and be ready to participate openly in the community. Otherwise, yeah, you just won't get as much out of it if you don't be open and be vulnerable, because in the community everyone wants each other to do well. It's not a sense like you would some people would have thought that it's competitive and that if you're putting your ideas out there that someone might take it. I mean, um, that can happen, but more than likely it won't happen, and they'll just give you better ideas to implement, and the great support that you really, really will need when you're going down this path, because startup ventures are not all fun and and it can be a roller coaster, up and down. So you want someone to be there when you're down, and someone to applaud you when you're up.
Yes, that's very, very good advice, Karen. It's definitely not all sunshines and rainbows in startups. I think what
Mm.
people talk about publicly is very different to what's happening internally with startups a lot of the time as well. So I'm so glad that you pulled that out. And yes, I see that every week during the masterminds as well. I'm so impressed by our founders supporting each other, offering personal connections, business connections, or advice from their own professional experience. So it's always been so impressive to see that in action. And I know a lot of women have, I always come back to these four things of imposter syndrome, perfectionism, fear of failure, and fear of success. And I should also add comparisonitis in there as well, because that
Yeah.
definitely gets people down. But I always try and encourage people in the community to take inspiration from what you're seeing from the community and apply it to your business if you can, rather than getting, sad about yourself or getting gutted that you aren't as far along as you would like to, because that's another thing that founders have. They always want to be further along than where they are right now, because they have so many ideas and want to keep taking action on things. So it's again, as you say, find your community and then have those check-ins as well, so you can see your progress over time.
Yes.
Final question from me. I think you do this really well. How do you keep having fun while working really smart? You are juggling many, 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 many things with a massive business, a lot of different side hustles, as well as creating this new platform. How do you have fun while working smart?
Hmm. Get yourself a puppy.
That's a quick win. Yeah.
Yeah, just keep yourself grounded by doing things that are not to do with work. A puppy is great because he doesn't care what else you're doing. He'll just drop the ball in front of you and say, "Can you throw it, please, please?" And just having to go for that run in the morning with the dog, or in the afternoon, forces you out and makes you act. I literally would not leave my chair if I didn't have to go, and except for bathroom stops, but I really would not move if it wasn't for the dog.
I'm
And
glad
then
you've
you
got some
actually
awareness
go
on
out
that.
and meet people as well. I mean,
Mm.
incredible people that I've met out in the dog park. And it's just so refreshing. And some of these people that I meet have given me great ideas too. So I go, oh, okay, I have to go now, because then I've got to apply it to my business and get back to the office. So yeah, it's funny. But yeah, and also just don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, if you don't launch in 2 weeks and you launch in five instead, I mean, is the sky going to fall? I mean, no.
That's a very good point. I think a lot of women that I've seen, or female founders, are definitely really hard on themselves if they don't meet their deadlines, and they're just self-made deadlines as well, right? And with technology, there's always issues. There's always more QA to do. There's always more perfecting to do to make sure everything works perfectly before you do launch as well. So yeah, that's really, really, really great advice. Any final comments from Karen, who's been in the Atto community for over a year now, and who advocates for community and advocates for getting a puppy and not taking yourself too seriously? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Yeah, just look after yourself. Like you always say that, don't you, Lana? I think that's so important to stay happy and yeah, get yourself a massage every now and then, or do something for yourself. Go to a nice restaurant, or yeah, just take that nice break and catch up with family. Keep yourself grounded, because at the end of the day, I mean, life is too short. I know that's just full of cliches, but really, in my at my age, I just really find that all those cliches are so true.
It's excellent advice. Thank you, Karen, for reminding
Mm,
us of that. We're human. We definitely need to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of others, before we can build a business, and then take care of, our customers and our employees and all those types of things. So excellent, excellent advice. Thank you so much, Karen, for your time and your expertise and for sharing all of your knowledge with us and for creating a Hello Music World. I'm super excited to see how many people and how many different types of people from around the world join your platform. It's going to be amazing, and I'm really excited for it. Thanks again.
Thank you for your blessing, and yes, we're going to change the world. Thank you, Lana. Thanks for your time. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Karen.